Hey friends, New Year is approaching and it's the time of the year where many of us reflect on the old year and start to make some New Year resolutions. So today I want to show you 6 ideas how to build better habits. Most of the ideas are from Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I recommend for everybody struggling with implementing habits. Idea number 1 is 1% changes can make a big difference. This is an idea from Atomic Habits, which uses the principle of compounding. We humans are wired for short-term gratification and often overlook that small changes can make a big difference over a long period of time. For example, if you would improve 1% for every day for 1 year, you wouldn't see drastic change over the period of 2 weeks. In fact, you would just improve by 14.9%. But if you continue, by the end of the year, you would have improved by 36x. Idea number 2, don't focus on goal, focus on systems instead. Having goals is undoubtedly a widely accepted trait for success. But having goals have several downsides as well. 1. Winners and losers have the same goals. If we focus on goals, we don't see what differentiates winners from losers. 2. Achieving goals is just a monetary change. 3. Pursuing a goal doesn't make us happy. We postpone happiness always to the future. When we reach this goal, then we will be happy is our baseline. But happiness never comes. There will always be the next goal to achieve. If you think about it, habits are about constant refinement and continuous improvements. It's a never-ending process. While goals can give us some directions and motivations, it's the system that will make us better. James Clear beautifully phrased this with the sentence, you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. Idea number 3 is build identity-based habits. In the past, my habits were always result-driven, meaning I always had the external result in my mind that my habits should accomplish, like I wanted to get strong, or I wanted to develop a six-pack, or whatever. But it was only through time that my habit would become second nature and a part of my identity. Sometimes this can happen organically, other times through hard discipline. But often you become this kind of person who always wants to work out, but is never able to establish a lasting workout routine. So to counteract this dichotomy of extrinsically motivated versus intrinsically driven is to ask yourself what kind of person would incorporate this habit. For example, instead of just saying I want to become strong, phrase it differently. You don't want to become strong, you want to become this person who never misses a workout. Idea number 4 are the 4 laws of behavior change. James Clear formulates the system to build good habits by the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws are 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. And 4. Make it satisfying. An example for make it obvious would be that if you want to work out first thing in the morning, you would place your shoes and your clothes right next to the bed, so that when you wake up you just can hop into your shoes and clothes and go out for a run. So basically you design your room to remind you of what habits you want to build. An example of making a habit attractive would be stacking it with something you enjoy. A personal example would be my habit to live a tidy life and be a good husband. When I fold the laundries, only then I'm allowed to watch Netflix. So with this example, I can couple something that I don't enjoy doing with with something I enjoy doing. So make the habit attractive. To make a habit easy, we can follow something called the 2-minute rule, where we do the habit just for 2 minutes. The idea behind that is to break a complex or difficult thing down to a point where it's easy doing it. Making a habit satisfying is a way to enjoy the journey. Reward yourself right after you completed the habit. Having a habit tracker can also help. Seeing on a calendar what you already accomplished can be very satisfying. Vice versa to the 4 laws of behavior change. For building a positive habit, you can use the inversion of these laws to break a bad habit. So the 4 laws to breaking a bad habit would be: 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. And 4. Make it unsatisfying. Idea number 5 is fear setting. Fear setting is a principle that I learned from Ferriss. When we reflect on the old year, there might be certain things that we wanted to do but didn't follow through on. This might be because of fear or comfort. Whether it was this new job opportunity, quitting this awful job, or building a new business, selling everything you own and go for undefined adventure. Fear setting is a practice where you discover ungrounded fear to make more reasonable life decisions. The way this fear setting practice works is: first, divide the first page into 3 columns. In the first column, you would write down all the things that could go wrong when following through on the decisions. It's like defining your worst case scenarios. In the second column, you would write down things how you could prevent these bad things from happening. And in the third column, you would write down all the points how you could repair all those worst case scenarios. This first page alone is a very valuable practice in itself. Often you find out that your worst nightmares can be prevented very easily, or at least can be reversed in a couple of weeks. On the second page, you would write down all the things that you would benefit if you would follow through on your decisions, if you would succeed following through on this decision. On the third page, you would write down the costs of inaction. What would you miss out on if you wouldn't follow through with your decision? Do you have things on your bucket list that you put on hold because of ungrounded fear? Maybe it's time to start your own fear setting practice. Idea number 6 is the idea of accountability. Making New Year resolutions or making a commitment to a new habit is often done alone. We make a loose contract with ourselves to eat more healthy things or spend less time on social media. But it's easy to let your commitments fade away unnoticed. Studies have shown that we are much more likely to stick to a habit if we are held accountable. So to use this idea of accountability, we could make a public announcement of what new habit we try to build. Or we could find ourselves an accountability partner who's holding us to our word. One thing that I'm testing right now is an app called Stick. With this app, I can bet a certain amount of money on my habit that I try to build. So every time I don't follow through on my habit, Stick will donate my bets to an anti-charity organization that I define. For my case, I bet $50 on my commitment to post 1 video to YouTube per week for 3 months. So if I don't follow through, I not only lose $50, but I will also lose it to an organization that I despise. As a small side note, when I created this commitment, I didn't know that you couldn't edit it afterward or stop the commitment before you defined time had passed. So don't make the same mistake that I did when you want to use a little pressure. And be sure to have a reasonable goal as well. Thank you.